Probably don't see that shot too much.
That was massive, right?
Yeah.
So did I have a bit of block on that and then that accentuate? We don't know.
Probably.
So what are we doing? Tell me. What are we testing?
We're gonna have a little golf ball aerodynamics demonstration for you today.
Interesting. So what, I'm gonna hit drivers.
We're gonna hit drivers. Yeah. Okay.
And you want me to do anything apart from just hit them? What's the
I'm gonna talk to you a little bit while we do it.
Yeah. Just
let you know kind of why we do things, why we pay attention to aerodynamics, and why I'm so important to our company.
Like that. And I just need to be hitting them arrow straight like normal, is that what we're saying? Right. So we've got clubs made for me because obviously mine didn't come, but they are pretty much spec'd up to my gamers. Let's talk aerodynamics. So which ball are we starting with?
Okay, so we're starting with a dimpleless Pro V1. So
can I just hold that? So that is a Pro V1 and you've sanded or whatever,
right,
you've taken the dimples away.
So the important thing to remember throughout this entire demonstration is the guts of the ball that you're hitting is the exact same. So your ball speed off the face, your launch angle, your backspin, it's all going to be exactly the same as it would be with the typical Pro V1.
Okay.
The only difference is going to be aerodynamics. So everything you see is an aerodynamic effect. Okay.
I want to play a game. Can I guess what might happen? I want to play a game.
Yeah. So we're gonna.
I like games.
Okay. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, that's going to fall out of the air like a rock, isn't it?
That's typically the case.
Because those dimples are helping me keep that ball in the air.
Right. We put dimples on it for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward. So this is like, I feel like it's going to be hitting, not feel like a stone, but it will act like if I hit a stone, it's just going to go like any which way.
Yep.
Subject, obviously. Will it react differently to my delivery? As in, if I get it slightly wrong face the path, would this accentuate what might happen or not?
It's off the club face, it's going to react exactly like a typical golf ball. But once it's off the club face,
anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
I hit that well, and that has done exactly what I expected.
You actually hit that pretty well.
Yeah. So in effect, for that to stay straight like that, I'm presuming my path and my face were pretty spot on.
You're very nice. Yeah.
So that is just like
it's all aerodynamics.
Yeah.
So,
so would it be harder to tilt the spin axis of that ball?
No, the spin axis is going to be what it's going to be when it comes off the club face. It's all aerodynamic.
Yeah, of course.
It's all the dimples.
Yeah.
So from a physics standpoint, what we're talking about is, when you have a ball without dimples, the air is going to come in, it's going to hit the front edge of the ball, and it's going to fly right off the back side of it like this, kind of like a wake on a boat.
Yeah.
So what you have is behind the ball, you have a low pressure system, and in front of the ball, very much a high pressure system. That differential is your lift force, or your drag force pushing on the golf ball. When you put dimples on it, what it does is it creates a turbulent boundary layer, which essentially energizes the air around the dimples and makes it sticky, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
So what the sticky air does is, instead of flying right off the back of the ball, it's going to stick to the back edge of the golf ball for a little bit before it flies off the back. What that means is you've reduced that low pressure zone behind your ball.
Drag?
You've reduced, right, so since you've reduced the low pressure zone, the differential between high and low pressure is minimized. You've reduced the drag force on your golf ball.
So the ball goes through the air better.
So it maintains its velocity throughout the flight.
Okay.
And then lift force works kind of the same way. As the ball's spinning, the air sticks to the ball over the top. It increases the velocity over the top of the ball, reduces the pressure on top. So now you're also creating a lift force. So the combination of the two, between more lift pushing the ball in the air and reduced drag letting you maintain your velocity throughout flight, you get a much greater distance.
So the ball with no dimples just had massive drag.
Massive drag and reduced lift.
Which is why it didn't go in the air and fell out, and it struggled to land past the red flag, which I hit a wedge to.
If you're carrying a ball 250 normally.
I'm 260.
260, okay. Don't want to shortchange you. This is only going to carry 100, 110 yards.
Which it did, didn't it? Yeah. It did. You're very impressed with how straight I kept that, though, aren't you? Hey,
yes.
Come on, say it on camera.
Very impressed.
So we're now going half and half, and you want me teeing it up with the dimples that way, so to the left. So I've got, which way is that going to go?
50-50 shot.
So if I hit it zero spin axis or close, it's going to be spinning this this way backwards. So it's going to lift on one side. It's going to go right.
Okay. So
oh, I'm aerodynamics. Gee, am I right? I've either made myself look like a right idiot, or everyone's going, he is clever. That mark is clever.
We'll see. We'll wait till after you hit it before it.
So I predicted massive cut, and this is going to hook in it, and I'm going to look silly. Yeah, so it's the opposite. Massive snap hook.
You're on the right track. You're thinking of the right kind of thing. You're just a little bit backwards. You're just a little bit backwards on your thoughts.
Don't repeat that line.
What's actually going on is the low pressure zone is actually getting produced on one side of the ball, and it's creating something called what we like to call a transverse coefficient, which is the amount of push sideways.
Yeah.
Now, typically in golf ball aerodynamics, you want your transverse coefficient to always be 0, because you don't want the ball going this way, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, it's an extreme example. So what you have is the ball flying towards the dimples.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So if we, okay.
So
what you got for me next in this?
So the next one in the line is
you got to be like the worst person at like a captain's driving, haven't you? You know what I mean? So a captain's driving in the UK, captain has to hit a drive in front of all the membership.
Yeah.
Like you come out with this bunch, you're not the popular, are you? God, what we got now?
So we call this the donkey and the elephants. So I want you to just take a look at that golf ball. Tell me what you see. See if you can see anything that's out of the ordinary.
I'm not seeing anything, and that's bad, is it?
No, that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we have something going on this dimple. It's the same dimple pattern as the Pro V1X. The dimple layouts are all the same.
Okay.
So
size are the same?
Sizes are the same. So we're gonna have you tee it up and see what happens.
Would you want me to hit the donkey or the elephant?
We'll hit both. We'll start with the donkey.
So we're gonna start with a donkey up. So that's gone much higher, is it not?
Much higher and
a little left. That was me, I reckon. What do you reckon?
So what we have on this golf ball is the dimples on one side are actually shallower than the dimples on the other side. And what that's doing is that's creating an aerodynamic differential, kind of like the half and half ball that we saw, but it's not nearly as pronounced.
Yeah.
It's so minimal, in fact, that you can't even see the difference between the dimple depths.
I couldn't, definitely.
But what this is going to do is it's going to create that sort of turn on your golf ball.
To the left?
To the left.
Okay, so that was, the left wasn't me, it was the ball, you're saying?
Exactly.
Was it higher, or is that just me?
It was a little bit higher.
But it shouldn't do that?
Well, in a optimized aerodynamic situation, we would have all the depths the same, and they would fly at kind of an optimal trajectory. Okay. So this is not that case. This is for demonstration purposes.
So that is a subtle change in dimples, which is going to give a result difference. So in effect, if I use a ball that's 10 rounds old, would that have a subtle effect on dimple pattern?
No,
or not?
I mean, as long as you're using one of our golf balls, you're not. That's not going to be the case. I don't think that's my point. My point is more that if I'm using then a ball that's 100 rounds, if I'm using a ball that's just really old, where the old isn't really going to matter that much, because even any sort of wear that you're going to experience is going to be all around the ball, and it's going to be even. It's not going to fly sideways. Okay. The reason we like to highlight this is because the differences between these depths are minuscule, like less than thousandths of an inch. Okay. And
so this is a tolerance
examples of this golf ball actually exist in the world.
Yeah.
In our competitive ball department, we find golf balls that have paint sprayed on only half the golf ball. If you paint spray half the golf ball, you're essentially changing the depth on one half and not the other. And we like to show it as just kind of to talk about how much we focus on every individual point in the process. From the aerodynamic design to the tooling that we make in our own facilities, and controlling every step of the process, because everything is going to affect the way it performs. Yeah. And like you said,
I couldn't see a difference in that ball.
Right, and
pick it up in my hand, I couldn't.
Right, and like you said, if you step up on the tee and you hit that shot, you're gonna be like, oh, I did a little something there, right?
First thing I said, that's me more than I was seeing height more than left.
So. Right, and if you hit that, what are you going to do on the next 3 or 4 holes? You're going to try to compensate
but
for
if I
it.
lose that ball and then pick out a different
Exactly.
one, help me.
So if you hit that ball first, you're going to end up trying to fix something that doesn't need fixing. In fact, that ball, that approach was probably perfect.
Yeah, it felt decent.
I would say, in this particular example, we'll see 30 to 40 yards offline.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna do elephant up next?
Yeah, we'll give elephant. I mean, you're more of a draw player. You're more of a draw player, I presume. So the elephant might get a little bit muted.
So in effect, this one might go right, is what you're getting at, but I might cancel it with this fellow, is what we're saying.
Right.
Right. So elephant up. God, look at that! Wow.
I don't see that shot too often.
That was massive, right?
Yeah.
So did I have a bit of block on that and then that accentuate? We don't know.
Probably not. Because, like I said, 30 to 40 yards offline is very common with that particular.
80 yards offline.
You may have blocked it a little bit. You're out. The really scary thing is if I were to tee the ball up this way and hit it, it's going to fly straight. It's not going to be optimal. It might fly a little too high, a little too low, but it's going to.
Dimples of now they're offline, but you've set it up in a place offline on a certain side,
exactly,
or top.
Right. So this way it's going to fly straight. So if I hit it this way for 3 or 4 holes, and then I hit it this way, I'm going to say, well, I obviously that shot was obviously me because I hit the same ball the last 3 holes and it was perfectly fine. When really,
so the variable is huge before you add the variable of me in there, and then I'm a relatively skilled golfer. You then add the variable of Peter, whoever Peter is, paying off 20 and that's 15. Like, God, wow. Yeah.
And that's the point. Our goal is to make sure that you are the only variable.
Make sure Peter is the problem.
Yes,
basically.
Exactly.
Come on, Peter, sort yourself out. There we go, guys. That was crazy, wasn't it? I mean, the difference is. I mean, the one for me, obviously the ones with no dimples on, I can see something's going to happen, you know, it's like, it's making it blatantly obvious. But the one where I can't even tell you the difference of the ball, and then the variation in the 2 shots, like you have to do it, is ridiculous. We're talking about 100 yards, probably 80 to 100 yards variation from left to right in those 2. And if you were to give me those balls over and over again, you take obviously the printing of the elephant and what having the donkey off, I would be pulling out that out of my bag and just hitting that. That was crazy. Push comments down below, let me know what you think.
But that's about all we got.
Yeah, I love that.
Do we got
that's all you've got. You just made me hit a ball 100 yards offline, and we should.